Greetings, YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about negative energy. Um, so we know that an atom has a negative charge and a positive charge. So anything that you can think of, it has a negative and a positive. That's the only way you can make something. Okay, scientific. Um, so with negativity, how do you clear negativity? So there are a lot of ways to clear negativity. You could burn sage. You could take black pepper and sprinkle black pepper in the corners of your room. The black pepper automatically vanquishes negative energy. You can cast down the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. You can wear stones. The Dalmatian stone protects you from psychic attack. People can't speak bad about you. Green moss clears the room when you walk in it. Hematite, any black stone, it absorbs negative energy. So when you see a black stone, be careful to touch it, because if it absorbs all the negative energy, guess what you touching? Um, let's see, dancing in the moonlight clears negative energy. Laughter. When you laugh, your brain releases chemicals. I don't know exactly what the chemicals are called, but it releases chemicals into your bloodstream, and it, makes you vibrate higher. Crystals make you vibrate higher. Herbs make you vibrate higher. Hearing knowledge makes you vibrate higher. Sex can make you vibrate higher, but you have to know how to use it. You can't just you're not supposed to, like, when you study history and stuff, you will learn man and woman only came together for spiritual purposes. Like if a man was going to war because men was warriors, they didn't have sex. Women didn't have sex during time of war, because you gotta be one within yourself. You can't be watered down. Sex water you down. Water down your willpower. It it'll mess you up chemically. And then, like, speaking of sex, people, um, you could lay down and have sex with a man and make that man feel good, because you have a high vibrating spirit. So when that man is laying with you, his spirit vibrates high. But he may be having sex with somebody that operates on a low frequency. So what that is doing is bringing your high frequency down to a low frequency. So basically, he was like an energy vampire. He just, like, you know what I mean? He just used your energy because you was high, because he was dealing with somebody that was low. And people do this all the time. So you have to be very careful with your energy. You have to guard your energy with your life. At jobs, you trade time with your energy. You sit and use your energy and your time to sit on somebody's clock, and then they in exchange give you what's called a paycheck or money. So you just got exchanged your energy for something. Um, Friends, family, you just gotta really guard your energy, like, cause at the end of the day, when you die and you take your last breath, that's all you got is your energy. You know what I mean? And once the warm energy that we call a soul leaves your body and returns back to the solar system, the flesh got nothing. Because half of your body came from the earth, which was made out of clay. That's why a lot of us are different shades of brown, because we come from different shades of the earth. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Study this stuff. And we was talking about vanquishing negative energy. I ain't got all in the shades and the earth and the melanin and the things of that nature. But it's talking about vanquishing negative energy. So you just be cautious of where your energy going, who around your energy. Guard your energy with everything, because it is some spiritual vampires out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they prey on people and they steal their energy. They harvest it. The only way a vampire could come in is if you give them permission. They can't just free willingly come in. There's rules to this, but you gotta know how the rules work. Once again, I'll say, that's why I say my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because we lack knowledge on energy. That's why you should study physics. You talk about energy, you talk about frequencies, it talk about like a harp. Okay, so a harp is a piano turned on its side. And I don't know how old y'all are, but back in the days, they used to show like cartoons and they would have angels in it, and the angels always playing the harp. So they let you know like that supposed to be the Most High Sky Daddy's favorite instrument. Okay, but what it means, because they was showing each other messages on the television, transferring information to one another, and some of us was being programmed, so we didn't know what we was looking at in the first place. But the megahertz, once you slow down the megahertz and the frequencies, and you could adjust the way the tones go and all that, all the physics type of situation, you get into scientific notations and things. They made a machine that can alter the weather. It's called the heart machine, and that's how they do it, by speeding up the I don't know what the word for it is, but they speed up the frequencies basically, and they got everybody vibrating on the wrong frequencies. So that's why the animal kingdom out of whack, the people out of the whole earth out of whack. Because when you go back and read, I read the Lost Book of Enki. So once you read the Lost Book of Enki, the Bible will make some sense to you. It really will, because even in Genesis, they say that a God is standing in a garden having a conversation saying, let us make man in our image. Apparently, he is with somebody else. He not singular. He definitely plural, because he talking to somebody else. Let us make man in our image. That's talking to somebody else. So it's definitely not one God. Don't come for me for spitting the truth. It is what it is. I mean, I've studied Sumerian texts. I've studied Assyrian texts. I've studied Kemetic texts. I've studied Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Greek history, Roman history. Like, it's so many different avenues that let you know it's not it's a polytheism. It's not a monotheism thing. Like, it is more than one God. Even when you get into the Greek mythology, talking about Zeus and the 12 of them. So when you get into the book of Enki, it teach you about Tiamat, and Tiamat birthed 12 gods, and with the 12 gods, one of those gods was Nibiru. Long story short, Nibiru went to war with Tiamat, and that's where Ki came from. Ki is the earth. Okay. Even like in the Kemetic text, it teaches you that the primordial waters was new. In the Bible, it say it was void, and then God said, "Let there be light," so it was light. I don't care how you want to start the story off. It starts out with some beings. The name changes. But we all know, well, I don't know about we all, but my conscious community know that the son name is Ra. And then in the Sumerian text, the son is Tiamat's husband. That's where, her and him birth all these other planets. like Mars, Venus, Pluto, and Nibiru, and it was 12 planets. Now, I guess they say it's only 8, something like that. I don't know. They changed stuff up so much I can't keep up with it. But it started out 12, like the 12 zodiac, like the 12 tribes of Israel. Like, anybody that mess with numerology know 1 plus 2 is 3. You know what I mean? So that's wisdom, knowledge, understanding. So it was some things that happened because first you come into knowing the thing and recognizing, realizing that thing exists. Once you come into the 1, then you go into the 2, which is wisdom. Now you know some things about that thing because you had to know something about it first because it was a 0, it was a cipher, it didn't exist. Then a light came on into it, which is 1. And then you go to the next level, which is 2. Now you know some things about it, so you wise about it. And then 3, you understand what you have wisdom and what you know. I mean, it's levels to this, but you got to learn how to incorporate these teachings into your being. That's what I'm here for. I just help people see. I'm not here to argue with you or things like that. I just want you to see things clearly. I've been studying this. I've been studying this stuff since I was a child. I'm 39 years old. Like, I have a personal library with over 200 books. I just know because I read about 200 of them, but I got more than 200 books. Like, I have books, the Book of the Dead. I have books on Mesopotamia. I got the Lost Book of Enki. Just trying to off the top of I have several history books. I got history books that speak of. I got this book where President Hoover is writing, and he's addressing how they changed the history of the colored people again. You know how many times they changed your history, colored people? It's a real name for y'all, but we gonna just keep changing y'all name and hopefully y'all won't notice. Like in the 1600s, we was called before the 1600s. I don't know what they was calling us because the Europeans hadn't landed here yet. But once the 1600 came, we became indigenous. Then they went with Indians. Then they went with, we were Indigos. Then they went with Indians. And then they went with Negroes, Negroids. Then they call us colored. Then we went from colored in the 1970s. James Brown got paid a check to tell us I'm black and I'm proud. So that's when they ushered in the whole black thing. So everybody's running around, I'm black, I'm proud to be black, I'm black. Not knowing that you blacken yourself out of history just by saying I'm black. Like, words are powerful. Like, that's what the Bible teaching you. To watch your words, watch what you say. But they're playing off of people's ignorance. They dumbing people down, then they playing off of their children's ignorance. So, if you study any history, you will know with the Native Americans, they took and raided their villages and they took their women and children and they separated the women from the children so the mother could not teach the child, you made in my image and teach the children what the children need to know because only a mother know what her child needs to know. Because you my blood. You of my bloodline. You need to know why you do this, why you do that, things that's in my blood. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your ancestors, your blood. Blood don't lie. It's DNA, liquid memory. It don't lie. But anywho, they separate the mothers from the children. And they took a lot of the children and they broke them away from their native tongues. They broke them away from their native teachings. They took them away from who they was. So if you got a child and you raise them up to believe anything, that child gonna grow up and be an adult that believes in anything. So you need to really Google what belief systems was taught upon us in the 1600s, because that's where it all went wrong at. When this establishment opened up it opened its doors. America opened up this business. It was called slavery. Um, they had us using natural resources, picking them. If you learn about the Book of Enki, you'll learn the Anunnaki came here for the natural resources. That's what they call gold, oil, and drugs. Since I've been born, America been going to war with everybody over gold, oil, and drugs. And now it's a scientific, well, it's a fact. Look it up. America has never not been at war. That's why we had that banner, red, blue, and white. It's not a flag, it's a banner. Because we at war all the time. We even went to war with Antarctica in 1940. Yeah, Antarctica. And it's not reported. Why? Because our spacecraft was disappearing in the thin air. They can't explain it. They can't explain why Antarctica has land as large as the United States of America. That's green land, that's tropical, with warm temperatures, with fresh water. It's not all a frozen tundra. But you're not supposed to know that. It's hitting cities there. I don't know if you ever saw Hellboy, but a lot of the knowledge that's in Hellboy got took straight out the Book of Enoch. Like how Lamech, that's Noah's father, said that he was afraid of his son because his son was born and he looked like the fallen. Because it was men walking around in them times that fell from the sky. That's what they called the fallen. So it is documented in the Bible. It's missing books out the Bible. You got to be Inspector Gadget and find them books. It is documentation that men have came here from other planets. Why you think we went to war with Iran? Look up them reptilian statues that's in Iraq. Everybody know except for us. We the only ones sitting in the dark, don't know nothing. Got a veil over our head out here trying to be the baddest bitch and being that dude. Nah, that ain't it, man. You need to get in these books. Malcolm X said it the best. And I don't care if you follow him or not. Did you hear what he said? He said, if you want to hide something from a colored man, put it in a book. Now, I'm going to call us humans because H-U-E means color. And we do have color. We hue. Because we was kissed by the sun. That's what Zulus are. Zulus are sun people. People whose skin have been kissed by the sun. Ethiopians. People that contain ether whose hair spiral up into a number 9. Scientific facts here. I deal with facts. You know what I'm saying? You can't just tell me anything. But, as far as, I know I done just went all off into a lot of stuff, but I'm here to make you think and make you study and come back. Come back and collab with me. Come back and build with me. But I basically wanted to let you know that our ancestors, and I need you to find out who your ancestors are. How did your ancestors deal with things? Me personally, I found out my great-grandmother, she wore crystals. She would take crystals in the woods and find water. She would find the water springs. They lived in Bailey Springs, Alabama, where a lot of water would spring up out the ground. And if you was sick, they said that my great-grandmother would take you down. My great-grandma's name was Grandma Tree, by the way. Yeah, like a tree, like nature. So Grandma Tree would take you down to the woods and had somebody dig up the water. Well, she had a clear quartz to help her find the water. And they would dig up the water and she had you lay in it and drink it because she was a healer. So when I started learning about my ancestry, I found out why I'm a healer. Like, it's in my DNA to become a healer. Look at my great-grandma. Then I could go further back. That was my great-great-grandma. That was my grandma's grandmother that I'm talking about, Grandma Tree. I met her when I was 6. She was on her way out. I was on my way here. You know what I mean? I met my grandma Moose. My grandma told me I used to talk to my grandma Moose after she was deceased. They said I was at her funeral sitting on the pulpit. They said they was crying at the body. I remember this. I was 4 years old. They was crying up at the casket. I sat on the pulpit. My daddy, I said, what's wrong with you? He said, my grandma gone. I said, no, she ain't. She right there. My daddy said, no, she up there in that box. I said, no, she right there. You don't see her? And I remember my grandma and them taking me up to the casket to show me that she was up in the casket, but I didn't see her in that casket. And you know, as a child, I had a lot of imaginary friends. I was speaking to a lot of angels, you know, but that's not normal to talk to, address, and deal with. I've been spiritual my whole life. I've always thought I was from somewhere else. Like, man, what is wrong with these people? I'm an empath. When you sad, I can feel that. I be sad. When you mad, I get mad. You know, I didn't know I was a star seed. I didn't know I had spiritual gifts. I didn't know I was a healer. I didn't know I was psychic. I didn't know I talked to deceased people. I didn't know none of this stuff when I was younger. I just did it naturally until I was taught not to do that. And as an adult, I had a real hard time trying to be somebody else because I was taught not to be myself. So, you know, at the age of 30, I started really seeking knowledge of self, and I'm at the age 39. That's completion. So I'm a supreme being right now. And I'm about to open up my soul and give y'all all I got. You feel me? Until the next time, peace and blessings. And keep that negative energy off of you. Wear crystals. Get your sage. Knowledge. Knowledge vanquishes negativity. It does. Because if you know something, there is no reason to be negative. Because you positive in what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, sitting in the dark, that's the devil. That's what they want. That's what the devil wants you. That's what the adversary wants you to do. But you have to know that you can be the opposition. You know, and you could be that light. Cut that light on for people. Yin and yang. You gonna be the dark side or you gonna be the right side. You feel me? Like, it's as simple as that. So righteous. Until next time, people.